Lovers Quarrel. It's a long, sustained quarrel.
What's going on, world?
Hey, everybody.
It's your guy, TJ, Mr. New Cool.
And it's your girl, Dani, your frequently fatigued falcon.
Oh. Back to being a bird. That's what I'm talking about. My favorite pigeons.
Anyway.
You like a Pokemon. You like a ball.
I leveled up.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
What's going on, love?
Nothing. Sorry if I sound a little congested. Allergy season is upon us. It is coming through with my congested nose and itchy eyes.
Thank you for tuning into yet another episode of Lovers Quarrel.
Yes.
With your girl, Dani.
And you got TJ.
And, if this is your first time listening to us, we appreciate you for checking us out.
Yes, we do.
If you're a lover, we love you.
Sure.
You're a hater, yeah.
Continue.
Yep.
Well, let me say this. We want to quickly just apologize for not dropping an episode last week, but mommy and daddy duty trumped recording time, so that happens and life happens, but we're glad to be back and recording with y'all for this week. So what's going on?
This has been a tough week. It's been a lot of negative things that has happened.
A lot has happened in just a week.
So
Excuse me.
We can go into it. We can go to the elevator.
All right, you want to start?
Yeah, let me go down.
Going down.
So Nipsey Hussle was murdered.
Yeah.
And that was tough. Especially because me and my guys were talking about him. It was like
earlier that same day, right?
Earlier that same day we was talking about him, and then I was asleep. Well, I was sleeping after I had an injury.
Yes, you took a...
So that's another negative.
You took an elbow.
I took an elbow to the fucking eye. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So
my baby got stitches. He's all...
Yeah, I got five stitches.
Battle wounds.
Yeah, my warrior scars. Everyone keep on saying it. And then I had to reiterate it. I had to change the verbiage and put a basketball on there. People thought I got jumped.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somebody called me hey, big bro, everything good? I'm
oh, my God.
So that happened. What else was something negative I seen and it had me feeling the type of way? People commenting on Diddy's posts.
Yeah, I felt some type of way about that, too.
I'm having a problem with people, saying shit, he should have married her, or just negative comments.
Kicking a man when he's already down.
And we don't know what their situation was. We don't know if they wanted to be married. We don't know any of that stuff. I mean, he's commenting back to people, but he shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
And it's just how dare you? You don't know this man, but you just feel like you should say something because you can.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with this Nipsey Hussle thing. People are throwing their 2 cents into it and their negativity into it, and it's just they're taking pictures and videos of him being murdered, and it's just social media is the fucking devil.
It is,
and it's just a lot. It was really a lot for me just to see all of this just negative and stuff. So
yeah, and so with I'll start with the Diddy thing. So I can respect and appreciate his transparency when people are kind of calling him out for, his shoulda, coulda, wouldas, I guess, is for lack of a better term, about what he should have done, but he wasn't mature enough and he wasn't ready. And, even though Kim Porter was the love of his life, but like I said, it's like kicking a man when he's already down, and he knows Diddy, and like you said, we don't know what their dynamic was. I mean, we can piece together their history based off of the public side that we've seen to some extent, but ultimately, he obviously understands that he lost the love of his life, even if they weren't together, and more importantly, the mother of his children. And it's if he already knows, I feel some type of way about that, because if he already knows that he fucked up, we don't need to be on social media reminding him that he fucked up.
But you don't have to. My issue with is that you don't know him to let him know he fucked up.
Well,
You're just a troll.
But he's kind of, because he's responding. It's letting us know that like he regrets. He has many regrets about what he did and didn't do with his relationship with her.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not our place to sit there and keep reminding him or pressing him about it. And so
he's responding 100%.
He doesn't owe anybody a response. Honestly,
he shouldn't respond at all.
But people do different things when they
those
grieve.
people shouldn't be, because those people are doing it to be trolls. They're not doing it because they see that he's going through something.
Absolutely.
They're doing it to rub it into him. Like,
yeah, and that's why it's wrong and it's unnecessary. Like when people are grieving, especially somebody they were that close to, you know, like they don't need any additional help rubbing salt in the wound. Like they already are probably playing over and over in their head how they went wrong, what they could have done differently, and now that they won't have the chance to do it, like it kills them, it burns them up. And then with the whole Nipsey Hussle thing, you know, I was not somebody who like knew a lot of his music. I knew who he was. I knew his relationship. I knew especially because of his relationship with Lauren London, but like I never heard anyone have like a whole lot to say negatively about him. And then when I found out he passed, I was like, damn. I was like, you know, I just saw him at the Grammys and everything else, and he was nominated. Like it was like he was coming up a lot more. Like, this past year had been a huge year for him.
He had the best album, 2018.
And you know, I had a conversation with my students today about the power of social media and how, you know, desensitizing, posting videos and sharing videos like the ones that have been floating around, which I refuse to see or look at. And I'm grateful that the people on my timeline aren't the type to repost that stuff. But, and then also like how, you know, how even with conspiracy theories and people talking about Dr. Sebi or Sebi, however you pronounce his name, and you know, people trying to make the connections between that, and I'm like, you know, how you have to have discernment. You can't believe everything that comes along your timeline. And ultimately though, it saddens me because he was someone's father, allegedly somebody's husband. Like he was an important part of a community, and they are at a loss because of his passing, his murder. And it's just about like having humanity. Like there's so many people already out in this world out to get us, and it's just like, why are we adding to that by letting hate or jealousy or greed or whatever it is drive us or motivate us to kill another one of our members of our community, especially somebody who's trying to give back to their community. I also know that like there were people that were also speaking towards Nipsey Hussle's, I guess, and I hadn't heard or seen them specifically, but his statements about the LGBTQ community, and that he, you know, was allegedly homophobic, or whatever. I think
that was taken out of context. He kind of cleared it up on, I want to say, Breakfast Club. But
okay, but the point I was trying to make
that
with
has nothing to do with him being dead.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that this was an example where like you can have a problem with what somebody said or somebody's stance or something, but your humanity can still allow for you to mourn someone's loss or to have sympathy for those people who are affected by their loss. So that's all I'm saying, is just that, like, you know, it's a fucked up situation all around, and my heart goes out to his family and his loved ones and the people that loved him most, because like I don't know what I would do. Like, I keep thinking about Lauren London, honestly, because she's the person left to pick up the pieces. And I don't, with her child, with him, that she shares with him, with her family, period. And I don't wish that on anybody, where you have to find out that the person that you've built this life with has been stolen away from you. So it's just, you know, sorry, you know, we're coming in kind of on a real downer note, but it sucks, and death sucks, and it's unfortunate. So yeah, shitty start to the week, but I'm going to I'm gonna bring us a little bit up, kind of bring our spirits up a little bit more. So I'll take this elevator back down from the basement where we took it, and I'm gonna be going up. Y'all know that I'm teacher life through and through, and we are so close to spring break. I can taste it, and Lord knows,
That's a positive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is spring break not a positive thing?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Let me hear it, and then I can.
Because I need a break.
Okay.
And teacher-student relationships, like, no, not in that sense, of course, but that dynamic, it's really intense. And quite honestly, like, I'm sick of them. They're sick of me. So we need some time apart from each other. And I'm just really looking forward to it, to be able to kind of reset, recalibrate, get myself together. Because then once we come back, basically we're in the fourth quarter and we're kicking off to the end of the school year just like that. So I'm just looking forward to spring break. And that's it. Put a bow on it and keep it moving. Does that make sense to you now?
I guess.
You guess? What is it not to guess? You didn't look forward to spring break when you were in school? Summer break, Christmas break, holidays, days off? Like, you didn't look forward to that when you were...
I guess it makes sense, yeah.
What do you mean you guess?
Like, what I said.
How do you have to guess? Either it does or it doesn't.
I just feel like it's so short. It's such a short week. Like, it's not... I don't know. I'd be like, I can't wait for the summer break. Like, that's a long...
I'll
you
tell
only get this 1 week off, and then it's going to be back to...
Yeah,
whatever.
but basically, that's like, it's the end of the
like
school year.
someone who has a jail sentence, and they got to go to jail, like, on the weekends. Like...
It's I'll take it. Because you don't understand because you don't live that life. It's
You're right.
fine.
You're right. I'm not a teacher. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's just, I will take it. A week away from students is much needed. A week and a day, actually. And the fact that we didn't have to give up any of our spring break because of the snow days is also a good thing.
That's amazing.
But with that being said, we are going to switch gears and go ahead to our relationship tip of the week. Do you have your tip, sir?
Sure.
Are you just gonna come up with all your little verbal shrugs this episode? You making up for lost time? I guess. Sure. My name's TJ.
I don't think I did any of that stuff.
That's what you sound like.
Okay.
When you run the tape back.
Can you just let's say your tip?
So my relationship tip this week is a little precursor or nod to the quarrel at the end of the episode, but and it's not inspired by you, so you can't win.
It's always inspired by me.
It's not though. Folks, simple but effective. The grass is not always greener on the other side. There's a saying that goes around that says comparison is the thief of joy. And in relationships, that is accurate too. Sometimes you're looking at what your people on social media are doing. Sometimes you hear one side of what your friends are talking about in their relationships or their marriages, and you're like, damn, I wish that was me. I wish that was my woman. I wish that was my man who was doing or saying these things. But let's keep it real. People are showing and telling you exactly what they want to show and tell you, and we know this already. So just understand that the grass is not always greener on the other side. Just know and do what you can to make sure that your grass is well fed and nourished and that it stays green to your liking, because someone's always going to be watching or comparing. But if you spend your entire relationship comparing what you and your partner are doing to that of the people around you or the people that you don't even know, you're going to be miserable. So just keep that in mind, folks, as a tip, because nobody wants to have their joy stolen. And that is my relationship tip of the week.
My tip is going to be forever learn your partners. In the sense that as we grow, the things that we used to like, we may not like anymore. Or there may be things that we really like, but you don't do that anymore. So if you learn your partners, you'll be able to kind of meet their requirements or what makes them happy. So if I know that Danny likes Reese's and I stop at the store and get her some Reese's, I know will make her happy. She likes foot rubs. Maybe I'll do foot rubs.
I do love
so it's just learning your partner. Like, you're always gonna have to learn your partner and relearn your partner and relearn the thing that you may already know, you know? So I feel like people change, their likes change, their dislikes change, and you have to be willing to learn and adapt to it. So
good tip. I know you like gummy bears and back rubs.
And I don't get any of that, so.
You do.
When's the last time you got me gummies? It's the last time you rubbed my back. It's not about us, though.
Really? I've rubbed your back since 2019.
No. You said since 2019?
And I've gotten you gummies since 2019.
But you can't remember. When's the last time I got you Reese's?
Like a couple weeks ago.
It wasn't a couple weeks ago. It was last week.
It was last week?
Yeah.
Which one? These little mini ones that were on the table?
And then I got you the big size 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But listen, it's not about us right now. It's our podcast, but it's not about us.
I feel like you're trying to one up me.
I'm not. I'm just, I'm just putting it out there.
I bought you milk.
I didn't ask.
You asked me to stop at. I stopped at Aldi. And I got milk.
You're right. I did. I asked you for
with
that.
With a bad back and a baby.
What was my tip though? Learning your partners, knowing what your partner's like.
I learned that you like milk.
No. Anyway.
All right.
And on that note, we're gonna go on to the word of the week.
Enlighten us.
The word
Make
of
me
the
smarter.
week. It's not for you. It's not for people like you.
Oh, people like me. I'm offended.
The word of the week is virulent.
Virulent.
Virulent. VIRULENT.
Mm-hmm.
Of a disease or poison extremely severe or harmful in its effects.
Okay.
Or it could be bitterly hostile.
Okay.
A virulent attack on liberalism.
Or like a virulent infection. Like an aggressive.
See, there you go. Just jumping in, trying to steal my shine.
I'm not trying to steal.
No, go ahead.
But no, that's a good word. Plus, like, it's almost like the word viral's in it. So it's like, disease, virus.
Got you.
Making those connections.
Exactly. That's why you were like, what, 4th place in your spelling bee?
I think I was like 2nd place. I lost to the word.
Sorry.
I lost to the word convenience. I never misspelled it again.
Yeah, so.
But.
And on that note, we're going to take a break. Hear a message from our sponsors, and then we'll be back.
Alrighty.
Convenient.
Hey friend, it's time for you to ditch those workout gloves and get the grip and wrist support you deserve. What do you suggest? You need to get the Gainz Load and Lock grips by Gainz Sports Gear. They are more durable than gloves, have a non-slip grip pad that provides grip support and added wrist support unlike your traditional workout gloves, and will protect your hands from calluses. Do they come in different colors? Not only do they come in different colors, but they are available for men and women. Do yourself a favor, go to GainSportsGear.com. And remember, a better grip equals a better lift. Embrace the process.
And you too can embrace the process by using our code LOVERS10 at Gainz, GAINZ, sportsgear.com. And now, back to the episode.
Alrighty, and we are back. And we have a letter. So, you got your thinking cap on?
Always got it on.
I think this is a good one, actually.
So you saying that our other letters aren't a good one?
No, I'm not saying that our other letters haven't been good. I'm just saying that, like, this is a particularly good one.
Yeah,
Excuse
I just think
me.
that you're
I think that you're trying to cover my neck.
No, I'm
I don't
not.
appreciate it.
I'm just thinking that, the way that you word things sometimes just make it sound like, elitist.
I'm elitist?
But go ahead.
And what are you? You're of the people.
Of course, I'm definitely of the people.
Oh, okay. It doesn't make me elitist because I'm smart.
I didn't say that. I didn't even say anything about you being smart. I just said
that's how I feel
the way that you worded it.
I heard you
like,
say your mother.
Oh, this one was like, this is the best letter we ever received. That's how I took it. But go ahead.
You're an exaggerator. Anyway, dear Dani and TJ, With y'all constant canceled culture discussions, are y'all canceling Oprah, Gayle, and Steve Harvey? As Kanye West's rants go against his own people, Oprah, who was close to Michael Jackson, aided in destroying his legacy by interviewing 2 alleged victims who have been trying to sue and sell Michael Jackson's memorabilia for years and were deemed non-credible by the courts. Yet she is not doing the same for her other friend, Harvey Weinstein, who transcends rape culture, nor is she going after Vatican City or Hollywood, as they have child molestation rings that transcends molestation culture. Okay, I might take back what I said about this letter. That was a really long sentence.
Oh, and so now you're going to downplay them.
Steve Harvey told Monique, get the money over integrity, which is a cosign to accept injustices, which connects to all the social redlining that prevents Black America from moving ahead, as when laws are passed, there are Blacks that ignore the laws because they have to secure the bag over integrity. Well, listener, lover, whatever we want to call you, that was...
Well, I'm going to call him a lover. You can call him a listener. You don't like lovers, so...
A lot. And I feel like we're going to have to, we have to kind of,
we can break it
unpack it, because there's, you threw a lot of things in there, and I understand where you're coming from, I think, for most of it, but there's other parts I feel like they're, not related.
All right, well, so cancel culture.
All right, so...
Are you canceling Oprah, Gayle, and Steve Harvey, Danielle?
I don't even know why Gayle was thrown in there, because he or she didn't say anything about Gayle in here. I saw about Steve Harvey and Oprah, but I don't really think I have a reason to cancel Gayle. Gayle just does her job as best as I can tell. Unless because Gayle's Oprah's best friend. I don't know.
Maybe because she did the R. Kelly interview?
She gave him a platform, but if it was me, I wouldn't have done. But at the same time, though, I think she handled herself really well in the interview, because he made himself look like a bigger fool.
Back to the question. Are you canceling?
I'm canceling Gayle? No. Am I canceling
Oprah and Steve
Harvey? No, I'm not canceling Oprah. And Steve Harvey, I kind of have been on the fence about, or I've kind of put him, I've parking lotted him. That's what we say in teacher land, when you kind of put something to the side.
So when we say cancel culture, that means boycotting, pretty much, right?
Yeah, no longer supporting what they do or produce.
I mean, I never cared for Oprah.
Okay.
So but see, I hate the whole idea of cancel culture, because it's once you cancel somebody, I feel like you can't like them again. You can't bring them back.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So to say you cancel somebody, and then what if they do something that's great for humanity, or you know what I mean?
I think you can acknowledge if they've done something that's great for humanity, but still not support them. But
I don't like that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging that. Even though this letter is about I don't know if the letter writer mean with y'all constant cancel culture discussions. So I've only canceled really 2 people on this entire
Kanye and R. Kelly.
Yeah, and I still stand by, rightfully so. But I do think that cancel culture can be sometimes very knee jerk. So
let me say this.
So
do you cancel Amari Hardwick?
What? Oh, because this whole I didn't see the video. So what happened?
He kissed Beyonce twice. So he hugged her, he kissed her, he hugged her, kissed her, and then he kissed her again.
No, why would I cancel him for that? Because it seemed like it was it was a lot.
Some people said that was a lot. Some people said that he didn't get permission. Some people said that it was close to her mouth.
Okay.
Some people said that it made her look like she was uncomfortable.
Okay. So no, I'm not canceling him for that, because it could have been a couple of things. It could have been a misstep. It could have been an honest mistake if it was trying to be overly aggressive. And this is but it was a one-time thing. Then it's okay, maybe you overstepped your boundaries, but now you'll know better, do better. So I don't know. He hasn't ever like stated his beliefs on like Me Too or women's, or feminism or, consent or anything like that to make me think that this was anything besides maybe like an awkward encounter. So no, I'm not going to cancel
I just feel
him.
like the whole cancel culture thing is very subjective, and people pick and choose when they want to cancel things when it benefits them.
It can be a slippery slope, but like I said, so cancel culture can be kind of knee jerk. So, but back to these particular people. So with Oprah and the Michael Jackson situation, I didn't watch Finding Neverland.
I didn't either.
But it's if what you're saying is accurate about the people that were the main like accusers in the documentary, then yeah, it's definitely questionable at best. But
Oprah also doesn't like rap music.
So yeah, but I mean, she's a 60-something-year-old black lady, so like a lot of them don't necessarily like black music. I mean, like rap music.
There you go.
Like rap music
and like black music.
But she's one person.
She's one person with probably one of the hugest platforms. And if she's telling people she doesn't like, if it's coming out that she doesn't like rap music, then I feel like it gives her followers.
And that was an issue in the past. But I think also too, there's been opportunities where she's had conversations with different rappers who have also presented a different perspective on rap music that she's also accepted, or at least taken the time to listen to. I don't know what Oprah's motivation was behind like hosting it, or maybe because there's something that she knows that we don't know. I don't know. But as far as what Harvey Weinstein, let's clear something up real quick, because this is where that like false equivalency stuff starts to come into play. Like people were doing it when the whole Survivor R. Kelly came out, and then people were automatically doing the like, oh, what happened with what about Harvey Weinstein? Harvey Weinstein has been indicted on counts for his behavior or his assaults on women over the course of his career in Hollywood. He is being handled. So there's no, and I'm not sure if there have been any type of like documentaries yet, but there's definitely been information. There's been transparency with once the stuff started, the floodgates open with Harvey Weinstein. He's being held accountable for what he's done by having to go to court. Now, what will happen once he gets into court? That's one thing. But at least he's being brought to the table. He's like being called to the carpet to answer for what he did. The situation, that doesn't mean that just because he doesn't have a surviving Harvey Weinstein 6-part series out, doesn't mean that he's not also being dealt with for his actions. R. Kelly spent decades getting away with what he was getting away with, and then it took this documentary to really kind of bring it full circle for him to deal with that stuff. And yeah, like I don't know, like the Vatican City, I don't even know why like Oprah would be the person that has to speak out against the Catholic Church, because the Catholic Church is wrong for what they do too, with passing priests around who are abusing children and so on. But like, where does Oprah come into this? Why does she have to be the one?
Because if she's gonna do it on Michael Jackson, why wouldn't she do it on other things? That's also gonna be, I'm guessing.
That kind of makes some sense, but it feels kind of like a little bit of like a reach, like because like she should, like anybody should speak out about injustice, but
her doing the people from Finding Neverland was a reach.
It might have been.
Why didn't she get the girls from the R. Kelly video?
Maybe because she we can't speak to
we can't. Well, I mean, obviously she had some type of special, so I mean there had to be some money that was involved in it. It had to be a platform for her to be able to talk about it.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they never even took it to Oprah, or maybe you never know. Like if they're saying, "Oh, this is what we're working on, we're gonna take it here," who knows who they took it to? They went to Lifetime, whereas maybe the people involved with Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson is, even though he's dead, was arguably a much bigger star than R. Kelly is or ever was. So maybe there's that angle of it. Like I'm gonna go and talk to and deal with the celebrity who's still going to be going down in history as one of the top entertainers of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't like I said, I never really cared for Oprah. She never done anything for me.
That's fair.
I don't think Oprah speaks to me, to my people.
I don't think she tries to an extent. Like, I think she kind of knows her domain and she works within it. She has a lot of reach and a lot of pull. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and
it's just but she's not gonna hit every mark.
Yeah, but because you have that reach, you kind of have that opportunity to speak for those who can't speak.
Okay.
I think that's the bigger thing. And for
would
her
you
to
want
be
her speaker for you?
This powerful black woman, yeah, I would.
Okay.
Who like she's like able to go in both rooms and
move between worlds.
Yeah, like, you know.
Okay.
Oprah was like, when she had her TV show, it was like the biggest thing ever. If Oprah said, if you were on Oprah, you were guaranteed to be like a number one.
Oh yeah, you made it
in every category. Like, if you had a book, it was going to sell. If you had music, it was going to sell. If you had the new products, it was going to sell. Mm-hmm. So her reach was so important, and I don't know what she's done for us.
You know,
I know she built a school in Africa, but
she did. And
I don't
she
know
has
what
her
she
own
did.
Network and people and like.
I don't know what she did.
There's a lot of shows on there
here,
run by black creatives. Like, I think,
and that's cool.
I don't think we have enough. I don't think we have enough of as much information as possible to make a final decision on it.
Of course, no, and I mean, I think we can only go off of what we see.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, from what I've seen, I don't see that representation. Mm-hmm. Like we speaking about Nipsey Hussle earlier.
Yeah,
like we seen what he did for his community, for his people.
Yeah, but in all fairness, I didn't know any of that stuff until I found that he died.
Oh,
I didn't.
Well, that's just. I mean, okay, that's fair. I mean, I knew about that because that's something that they like talked about, and he's always talked about. So
yeah.
So that's fair. But Nipsey Hussle wouldn't have. You probably would have, like you said, you didn't listen to Nipsey Hussle, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah. So it's about who's in your scope at a given point in time. Nipsey Hussle passed untimely. His murder, not untimely passing. He was murdered. Brought him into focus for me more than he ever had been any time before.
So I'll say LeBron.
Okay.
That's something that's a little bit more
in my focus. Yes.
And he's doing it for the community.
He is.
He's doing it for people back in Akron.
Uh-huh.
And he's doing it back for his hometown.
Uh-huh.
And he's using his voice for something bigger than
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just my thing. But Steve Harvey, don't care about him.
Yeah, I'm not.
I never thought he was funny. Even though he has funny moments.
He has funny moments. He's an Omega man. He's just like the old guy with the closed-toe sandals barbecuing at the cookout. That's what I see when I see Steve Harvey. And
I do think he was wrong with what he said to Monique, though.
I do too. I think he
money
was
over integrity, and it kind of shows that's what he cares about.
I think so. I definitely. I think he mishandled himself in that interview. That's kind of like peak like mansplaining and talking over a woman, and and kind of like he was like borderline scolding her when she was trying to just speak her piece. Like, even if you don't agree with her, you didn't give her an opportunity to speak her mind or to get her point across. So I don't know. I think that I also don't agree with always being about getting that money over integrity, because ultimately I feel like there are people in that world in the same realm that Steve Harvey and Monique belong to that make money and maintain their integrity at the same time. I don't have to shuffle and shuck and jive just to make sure I'm taking home extra money, so that way I can, I'm trying to make sure my kids are straight and this, that, and the other. But that doesn't mean that you always have to, your kids are also watching you take disrespect or whatever it is from people because you're trying to earn more money, and that's not okay either.
Yeah, but I also think, I think it's important that people get to see that, because you get to see that there are some people who don't have integrity. You get to see that there are some people who will sell their soul to be famous, or they will sell their soul for money no matter what it means. You know what I mean? So I think I think that conversation needed to happen. Granted, Monique's approach to the whole situation was wrong, 100%. But Steve Harvey saying like you got to get that money and you got to put stuff to the side and everything else. I feel like we need to see that. We need to see that there are people out there who are selling their souls, and you have a choice. You can sell your soul, or you can have your integrity and keep who you are and live your life that way. Like, it's okay to not sell your soul and be okay with not selling your soul. Mm-hmm. But you get to see that there are some people who will sell their soul.
Yeah. Everybody has to have a line in the sand that they're willing to draw. But where that line is different from person to person. And I think it's okay I think it's important to have seen it, because there's probably going to be some people who'll be like, yep, 100% I agree with him. Go for the bag. And that be it. But personally, like I'm kind of indifferent towards him. Like, he also, like, he met with Donald Trump, so you already know, like, that really kind of set him down the totem pole for me as far as respecting his thought process on anything. Because if you're affiliating yourself with that fucktard, then we don't really have much to talk about.
Some people think that if you meet with him, you have an opportunity to change your perspective, or
but it's like talking to an orange wall. So
an orange wall.
It is
because he's orange.
He is. He's ugly and he's orange and he's horrible. So I think, but I get that people sometimes like those black people of different, like, like the clergy and Steve Harvey and Jim Brown and even Kanye, like, they're meeting with him because they want to, they think that they can persuade him or whatever, when really all he's doing is parading you around like a token Negro. And it's just frustrating because it's like, you should know better. But I don't think that people take Donald Trump's complete, sociopathic ways to heart until it's too late. But
it goes back to, like, selling your soul. There may be 100 people who will say no, but we have 1,000 people who will be like, yep.
Yeah.
Because I got opportunity. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate on both parts, but, there are people out there who probably feel like, well, if I meet him, I can change his mind.
Yeah. And he's not, that ain't the one. That's not the hill to die on, because that man is psychotic. So I guess, listener, like, Oprah, for me, no, I'm not canceling her. Gail, nope, I don't think she did anything wrong. And Steve Harvey, I think I've been kind of put him out to pasture before he had this whole back and forth with Monique. But it's like, you just have to, there are people who are going to, like, fuck up once or twice, and then, you kind of, or being human or whatever. And then there's people who are, like, making conscious decisions to associate or affiliate themselves with certain people or certain movements or certain just whatever beliefs that you can't join in with and you can't support them anymore. But just because I think, ultimately cancel culture is a slippery slope sometimes, and you have to be discerning, which is what I was trying to teach my kids about. Like, you gotta, like, do some research. Don't speak on everything because you don't have all the answers, and take the time to.
You gotta teach adults that too, though.
You do because
there's a lot of people
that run with shit,
who, like, retweet and post shit that has, like, it's coming from, like, www.you'reanidiot.com and they're, like, retweeting it, like,
clickbait.
See, I told you. And it's like, this isn't a real website.
Yeah.
Like, my father always says, if there's 10 people,
in a room,
7 of them are dumb.
I thought he said 8.
Okay, maybe 8.
I think he said 8.
Okay, so if 10 people in a room, 8 of them are dumb. And
the other 2 are me and him.
I don't think he ever said that, but that works.
No, I'm just playing.
Oh, you're saying the other 2 are you and him?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm one of the dumb people.
No.
That's what you try to do.
You're not even in the room, baby.
That's crazy.
You're not even in the room.
That is crazy.
You're not even in the room.
Anyway, and my father may be, like, put that number really high, but, you really have to start, like, checking people and really checking what they say. Because some people will say shit just to say shit.
Yeah, they just don't throw anything
Like
out.
in high school, I used to average as many points, and they never was on the team. And when you Google it, it was never there. Like, you don't have to lie. You don't have to lie about what you've done just to say that you've done something. You know what I mean? So always, like, I'm gonna teach Tatum, like, don't take anything what people say for face value.
Yeah. You have to learn, like, I think it comes back to, like, you, like, first of all, if you have nothing else, all you have is your word, right? But if you are going to say things that you know people can fact check, don't say that shit. And so, and I just feel like it is frustrating and like that, because people will just look up, stuff will come down people's timelines and news feeds, and they'll just be like, oh, this must be the truth. And they're not looking at, like you said, they're not looking at the web address. They're not looking at anything. They're like, this shit don't even sound right or whatever. And then it's clickbait, and then they go down a rabbit hole. This is why, first of all, this exact thing they were talking about is the reason why Donald Trump is president now, because people were believing news articles on Facebook about what's going on in the world as opposed to actually going to a valid news source or verifying what they were reading. But I think, like, we have to stop taking, like, and also taking situations that can be, that might on surface seem similar, but at its core have some, like, really big, like, fundamental differences. And I think another thing too we have to understand is that, like, you can be wrong about something and the next person can be wrong about something else, but, like, you're wrong and that person's wrong. It could be, there's levels to this shit. Like, people do wrong shit all the time, but
I need an example. That confused me.
So I'm thinking about the whole, like, Cardi B thing that had come out with her, like, drugging guys, right? So I am not condoning what she did. I am not saying that it was excusable or anything like that. What I'm saying, though, is that what she did was wrong, but then when people are making the comparison to Bill Cosby, like, the situations, I feel like on the surface appear similar, but if you dig a little deeper, there are also some stark contrasts with them too. But his wrong and her wrong are not exact. They're not tit for tat, if that makes sense. And so I just feel like that's where that discernment has to come in. Like, let's look into what she said or did. Let's look into what he did, and then, like, go from there. But people are so quick to, like, jump on and be like, well, how come this, like, eye for an eye or this, that, and the other. And it's like, that's not how the world works. I'm not saying in some situations that it's fair or it's right, but it's just not the reality that we're in. But we also have to be discerning. Like, do the legwork, look into it, and then if you still feel that way, then you're entitled to that. But if you don't, or if you are so quick to post something up and, like, pick a side and stay there, then, like, I mean, what else are we supposed to do with that? Like, it's like,
so that's why I need facts. But you be like, we got to make a decision.
Yes, sometimes you need to be discerning, but sometimes when the facts are smacking you in the face, that's another story.
No, it's not always smacking you in the face.
We can agree to disagree.
I'm just saying, not everything is a smack in the face, and what's a smack in the face for me could be different from what's a smack in the face for you. So
sure.
Anyway,
well, I think that was still a good letter. It
was
a lot of.
And speaking of cancellation, well, you can close out the letter, and then I have a follow-up question.
I don't even remember what I was going to say, honestly. So go ahead.
So are we canceling Joe Biden?
Are we canceling Joe Biden because he was accused of inappropriate? Is it inappropriate touching? Is that what they said?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to say this.
Inappropriate touching multiple women.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that for me, the jury is out. I'm not, like, I definitely have been a fan or a supporter of Joe Biden as Obama's vice president. And so when I heard that he was probably considering running for president, I was like, okay, this might be a good look. And if anything, I know that, like, Joe Biden personality wise is, like, with the shits enough to, like, go back and forth with Donald Trump to, like, kind of, like, talk shit back to him. But I also know, and, like, this is something, like, I know that people always, like, go to, because I hear it sometimes with, like, my mom and my aunts and stuff, because they'll be like, they'll cancel, they'll like go off the rails and on Facebook or whatever about people that they already don't like, but then like they like Joe Biden. So then they're like, well, why is so-and-so, like, why is she coming out right now and saying something? Or why didn't they say something when it happened and blah, blah. So like asking those questions that like could be perceived as kind of like victim blaming or whatever. So I like am.
Do you need more information before you can make a decision?
I am going to take a little bit more information, but I'm also not going to discredit what these women are saying.
There's multiple women saying it. You should be able to make a decision.
Okay.
Right?
No, not always.
Right.
But okay.
That's what you just said.
You have to be discerned. Yeah.
When I just said sometimes you need a little bit more information, you said sometimes you don't.
And sometimes you don't.
There's 3 women who said that he touched them inappropriately. Is that not enough?
Because I have to read I have to read the article. I have to look at the I've only seen one interview of one of the women versus a 6-part docuseries 3 nights in a row, plus all the information we've already had about R. Kelly over the course of the years. So that is why I'm able to come, and I had already had my feelings about R. Kelly prior to the documentary, quite honestly. But I understand.
As the Joker said, I'm just turning your plan on you. That's it.
Okay, and so
you said one thing. I'm just asking.
But I also said that in some situation, but I said sometimes you need discernment, and sometimes those, I'm like, yes, but sometimes facts will just be right there in your face, and you need to take them for what they're worth. So I said, what me saying I need to do more work or do more research or like see where I stand on Joe Biden doesn't mean that I'm contradicting myself, because I said both situations can be valid, but it varies from situation to situation.
Okay.
So in your situation, you are somebody who, it doesn't matter if I hold up my phone in front of your face and I say, this is my phone in front of your face, you're going to be like, I'm going to need a little bit more information on that.
No,
so sometimes the facts can be right in front of your face, but because you don't want to necessarily, because you're more skeptical maybe, then
I want to make sure that I'm making my decision based off of what I want to make my decision off of, not off of what other people are saying or how other people conceive the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Did I use the word right? Conceive?
Perceive.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's why you my homie. Anyway,
mm-hmm.
So Uncle Joe, is he still an uncle?
Right now, do we have to add creepy Uncle Joe? That we have to
Okay.
we have
that's fair.
We'll see. He did. I know he responded and he was saying he didn't think he did anything wrong, but if he had, he apologized or whatnot. But it's there's. I think I have to do a little bit more research on it, because
so you got to do more research on that. And you got to do more research on Amari Hardwick.
I do, because quite honestly, I'm preoccupied outside of work, school, podcast. You Tatum, I'm not.
Phone.
Huh?
You got to put the phone in there.
Oh, my phone.
Yeah.
You wouldn't. You know what? You are the shadiest of ladyists. Okay.
Whatever.
So. But putting that all in there, that has to be the case. So I don't want anyone to listen to this and think that I'm picking and choosing what I want to look into and what I don't. It's just that some things are they're passing me by. So they're kind of in my peripheral, and I can kind of give some of my attention to it, but I can't as much because I'm just in grind time right now. But
May
22nd. I'm making a vow, a promise that, as we continue to record, once I kind of have things off my plate, that I will, when we have these topics, that I will be a little bit more knowledgeable about them, so I can take a stance based off of that, and I can further debate. But I don't believe in being loud and wrong, and I just need to.
I didn't say that you were. I just asked the question.
I understand, but I just don't back me into any corners and try to hold me to something, because I know that different situations call for different responses to it.
I know that people change. I know people have different thought processes.
They do.
I thought that I could separate R. Kelly, the artist, and his music, and as I thought about it more, I could not.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I needed to be able to do that on my own term. I can't do it because Danny doesn't like him. Kanye, I'm still playing Kanye.
I know you are.
I don't have a problem with Kanye. My only problem with Kanye is not even with Kanye. Is with the people who ever since he started doing his Sunday service, now Kanye is good in the hood.
Do you think that it's
he's
like
good now?
Do you think it's like a publicity type thing? Like he's trying to like
Sunday
change
service
the narrative.
Big. It's big right now.
It's going to Coachella.
It's going to Coachella,
right?
like
yeah.
You know, Coachella, like this artsy whatever, and you're gonna have Sunday service with Kanye West.
But doesn't he just play his music?
I don't know what it is. I just know that he was doing.
They wear like all white or all black, and then they just sing songs in the desert.
I don't know. I don't love it, but like I said, we know that Kanye is sick, and I feel like they're giving him the platform because they want to see what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. His music genius has always been there.
Oh yeah, no one's questioning that.
But I just feel like
he's just disturbed in other ways.
So
maybe he's trying to make this his redemption arc. But did you hear him with his like first like interview for they had like clips when he was like finally in like a interview session or confessional for Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
And he was like, "This is weird" or something like that.
This is weird. He was weird as hell. He was like, first of all, he just doesn't sound like the same Kanye from a few years ago. And then also he was saying that like he only did the interviews because of the Credibles, because in the beginning like they start with like interviews and stuff like that, and I'm just like he think he's the Incredibles. He think even Kim was looking at him like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's his mental health going through. And we shouldn't be portraying it and using it, as you said earlier, as clickbait. Mm-hmm. Like that shouldn't be something that should be out there for people to see, for people to make fun of. And like he's really going through something, and people, no one's really helping him, giving him the help he really needs. People are using this as, look, Kanye's being crazy again, or Kanye's talking weird or whatever, and there's other people who suffers from his same sickness. The only difference is that he's Kanye West. Mm-hmm. So the camera stays on him. I don't like it, but nothing we can do about it. Yeah, we just went all over the place. We did, but it was covering a lot of bases, I think. So yes. So I love her. Thank you for that letter. And as my wife, she calls you a listener, but to my lover. Still appreciate it. Thank you. Are we at the last part of the show? We are. The quarrel. Yeah. The fight. The rumble in the jungle. The thriller in Manila. You got more? The play around the way. Give me another word. Give me a word. No word. Really? I don't know. Give me any word. Chill. Okay. I did thriller in Manila, so I can't say thrill in the chill. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, but it's time for the quarrel. It was a long, sustained quarrel. I really butchered that word. Quarrel. Excuse me. Do you want to start us off with it and preface it, or do you want me to? You can. I like to hear your voice. Oh, you're so sweet. Lies. But, all right. So this week's quarrel is a little inspired by one of our favoriteest TV couples. So, mini spoilers if you were like a little behind on This Is Us, so just be forewarned. But Beth and Randall, so that's Sterling K. Brown's character and Susan Kelechi Watson, I think is her name. They're on This Is Us. They are Beth and Randall. They are R&B. They have been, for most people who watch the show, # relationship goals. They got 2 kids. They got the nice house. They're always communicating. Even when they go through hard times, they always kind of talk and work and push their way through it. And they get back on good terms again. They're real with each other. And they ride for each other. But as of late, they've been going through it. Put a little perspective, like, I guess the final strain on their relationship was
Randall ran for city councilman, but like in Philly, and won. And then Susan, and then Beth wanted to quit her job, and she started to teach dance because she wanted to pursue her passion. So now, because of these like major career shifts, they're butting heads because Beth feels like she always has to bend to accommodate Randall, and Randall feels like that's just not the case, I guess. Is that kind of accurate? Does that sound like a good like synopsis? Did I miss anything major?
Yeah, I think Randall feels more like this is the biggest thing that he's done, and she's not
there for him. Okay.
So I think they're both doing something that's like big for them, but it's like
it's making it hard for them to like be the back seat to the front seat person. Yeah. So that brings us to our quarrel, which is, I think, twofold. Like, what about this whole like having to bend for your partner type of situation, and then also why relationship goals is kind of a farce. It's a fallacy. It's not real. It's make believe, a fantasy. All of these things.
I don't think it's a fantasy. I wouldn't say that. I think relationship goals should be something that you can like, but it shouldn't be something that you base your relationship off of, or you shouldn't be like, if this couple can make it, then we can make it, or hence
that's why I said my tip like nodded to this, but go ahead.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with necessarily having relationship goals or people that you see together and you like what they have, but that shouldn't be the basis of how you have a relationship. Or
like it shouldn't, like your entire relationship should not hinge upon somebody else's, like celebrity or people that you know. Like your relationship should not hinge upon everything that they do or don't do and how you guys measure up, because
every relationship is different, every couple is different, and every what is okay for one relationship may not be okay for another relationship. So
yeah, like some people's triggers and what they tolerate varies. I mean, there's certain things that across the board you shouldn't stand for or tolerate, but there's other things that it varies from couple to couple.
But just because you don't tolerate it doesn't mean somebody else won't tolerate. Doesn't mean someone else would have a problem with it.
Well, I'm thinking like extreme stuff, like abuse, like that. Like no one should tolerate any type of abuse. But
yeah, well, I don't think no one in a relationship goes like, oh, I can't wait to get beat up like my favorite couple.
I know. Well, I don't know. I'm just I was thinking at the most like extreme sense, but
yeah. But typically, when people say that something are goals, it's something that they want to obtain based off of what they see.
I know.
So that's why I'm saying I don't think no one would be like, oh, they do drugs together. Hope me and my partner could do drugs together.
That's not what I meant. What I meant was that if you were saying that people have different preferences, like what works for one couple and what works for may not work for another. And what I said, yes, like aside from some things that are like across the board, like and like should not exist in any relationship, such as like abuse, then other than that, yeah, there are variations from one couple to the next. Like we know people who don't want their significant other going to strip clubs, right? You and I have been to the strip club together and have had a great time. So, but that's because it works for us, whereas other people are not comfortable with that with their partner, and that's okay because that's their setup or their arrangement.
I also go to the strip club by myself, but
you also have gone to the strip club by yourself. I have also gone to the strip club by myself.
Great.
So, I
ass
shall.
And titties.
Ass and titties. So, I think like relationship goals can. There can be things. I think I'll say this: there's nothing wrong with like aspiring for like a certain part of a person's relationship. Like I want to make sure, like, or telling yourself that like I know when I'm going to be in a relationship with this person, or if I'm in a relationship with a person, I want to make sure that we have the open communication that I see that this couple appears to have. Because and I'll say this because even if we don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes, open and honest communication is something that makes for a healthy relationship. So if that's what you're seeing, I don't think there's anything wrong with like modeling or trying to say, okay, that tenet of a healthy relationship I want to make sure is applied to my own.
But
how it plays out is varies. But
see, my only thing with it when it comes to saying relationships is like Jay-Z and Beyonce, they are relationship goals, right? But if they break up, there's some people who's like, well, if they broke up,
there's no hope.
There's no hope.
Yeah,
and that's my thing. Like, people do fall out of love with each other.
They do, and people
and they grow apart, and the things that they used to love, they don't love anymore, and the things that they used to like, they don't like. But that doesn't mean that they aren't. It just means it just means that they ran their course.
Yeah, and I mean,
and that doesn't mean that your relationship can't go longer. It doesn't, you know what I mean? I just feel like sometimes people see others and think, well, if they can't do it, or if my favorite couple breaks up, then there's no hope.
Yeah,
and you gotta live your life for yourself.
And that's because people only see what those other couples allow for us to see. So therefore, when we don't see the cracks in the foundation, when we don't see the flaws and all of these relationships, because quite honestly, it's not our business anyway. When things do go wrong, or people fall out of love, or they grow apart, then it feels like a shock or a slap in the face or something like that. When really it was like, no, if you really knew what was going on inside that person's relationship, it might have been a long time coming, quite honestly. But I think ultimately, like, relationship goals are something that are somewhat okay to have, but as long as you're not living and dying but what another couple presents to the world, because there is no way in the world that you're seeing everything that they go through. There are some things that are going to happen behind closed doors that that are not going to make sense to you or not going to be your business. And you need to keep that into consideration, because, again, comparison is the thief of joy. So you're never going to be happy if all you're doing is looking at other people's relationship, quote-unquote, relationship goals and trying to emulate them. It's just not going to work. Instead of just trying to be your best self or be the best partner you can be for that person that you're with. Because ultimately, everybody's different. Every couple dynamic is different. So, but what about the whole, like, Randall and Beth R&B bending for a partner, or how do you like front seat, back seat partner type of situation?
I think that's tough because I think it depends on what your relationship is and how you do it. Like, I think Beth has bended more for Randall's wants for so many years. So it was kind of...
She was sick of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's also kind of like Randall did his thing first, so...
And usually without asking. He would just be like, like, it's true. Like, I'm moving in my crackhead daddy. Oh, I want to adopt a baby. Oh, I want to quit my job.
Yeah.
And
very impulsive.
He is. And, like, and Beth was wrong. Like, she took a dig. She definitely took a dig when she was like, when was I going to do that between, like, your anxiety attacks? But I'm not excusing it, but I understand, like, the frustration behind it. Like, I'm trying to, like, explain to you how I'm feeling, and you're trying to dismiss me, so I'm about to take it there. Like, sometimes
I think, again, every relationship is different, and, you know, what you're going to bend on and what you're not going to bend on should be discussed, and these are things that, as couples, we should talk about, you know. These should be situationals, which I know sometimes can be tough. But we need to have more situationals, more what ifs.
Yeah,
if I died today,
hypothetical conversation.
Yeah, what would you do? Stuff like that. And I know it may sound like morbid, or why would you even think about these things? But these are things that you should kind of have, like, you should be planning just in case shit happens.
Like, what do you want to do if somebody wants to quit their job and pursue something else that makes a lot less money, or if they, you know, like, upon untimely death, or if we, like, what if we lost the house or whatever, like, what are we going to do? You should have those conversations. And I think too, with the whole Randall and Beth situation is, like, I think it's a testament to how, like, in a marriage, in a relationship, sometimes there's, like, one person needs to be the one that's, like, the star of the show and the center of the spotlight, and the other person's playing, like, you know, stage manager. But then it also has to switch. It has to, like, unless somebody is saying, I'm truly comfortable staying in this role and I want to stay here, if they've been holding you down the way that Beth was holding Randall down, I feel like he should like. And that's the thing is like, and it's not even like he didn't encourage her. It was just seemed like it was like begrudging. It was like, yeah, okay, like go for it, but. And it just didn't feel like he was like all in the way she's been all in for him when he does something impulsive.
Was a little different. I mean, he just won city office, and she wanted to dance, and the home life balance wouldn't have been the same. And I think that is a little bit different. Granted, like she helped him run for it and all the other stuff, and then she found her own passion. But maybe he didn't even move to Philadelphia. And then,
but then that's uprooting the kids. That's doing like
I don't know what it is, but I'm just saying like he has a position that he can't
back out of
right now. So you may have to take this back seat.
Who that may have to?
Beth.
I mean, or I think the thing about it too is like, or maybe they're not gonna. Maybe they have to. So like I've been keep saying like the front seat back seat situation. Maybe they're going to have to get in separate cars for a little bit because where she going to have to drive and he's going to have to drive. So they're just not going to have each other to fall back on the way that they have in the history of their relationship. Like sometimes it's like we're both working for something, but that gets kind of dangerous or it could be a slippery slope because then when you get accustomed to driving alone, you're not trying to go back to playing backseat to anybody.
Listen, that's outside. People fall out of love. I mean, listen,
it's not even about falling out of love. It's just about like not being able to.
But
stop working as a team.
But once you start, but if you're not working as a team, marriage is teamwork. So if you're not working as a team,
but then who should? So I feel like Randall. He can't shirk his obligations, obviously, but Beth had like it was never going to be a right time for Beth to pursue whatever it is that she wanted to pursue.
Because she pursued her dancing career any other time. Is this a once in a lifetime thing?
Technically, no, but why does she have to keep stalling? Because if it's not city council, then what if he like runs for mayor? And then what, like, you know what I mean? Like what, then it's like, there's never going to be a right time. So she has to kind of, sometimes you have to do that. And the thing about it is like, she made Randall promise when they first got engaged, like, we need to be our own people. And I feel like that's important too in a marriage because it is a teamwork, but we like, as a basketball reference, like it's a team, right? In basketball, but you are, what position were you playing in basketball?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, power forward.
I'm star player.
Power forward, and I'm the center. So
no, you're definitely not the center.
Well, I asked you for clarity and you didn't give it. So
I got you. Star.
No.
Power
Give me
forward,
one of the five. That's and star. Just one of the five.
Star, and then you are the 12th man on the bench.
I'm glad you're making yourself laugh.
You're the 12th man on the bench.
Can you point is,
like I'm in the game.
All right, I'm just gonna talk baseball because I know baseball.
Right?
I know softball.
Listen, you're on the bench. You're your warm up.
You're the
right?
shortstop.
No, finish. Wait up. Can I please finish talking?
I'm the first baseman.
No, you're on the bench.
Point is that
and you got the whole.
We have
you got the whole outfit on.
We have,
and the outfit is fly though.
We have to work together, but we also have very different roles.
Got you
in it, or I'm the catcher or the pitcher, or something like that.
No,
like you have very.
I like the basketball reference better. I'm on a court. You on a bench, and then.
You are a dipshit. I hate you.
You know, you got your full suit on. You know what I mean? So it's a full Nike, but you're not going to get on the court unless someone gets injured. Like, the whole team gets injured. And then now they're like, all right, Danny, it's your turn. Now go. Scene set.
Point I was trying to make is that everybody has their specific roles. But you come together as a team to make to meet the same goals in the end, which is like security, stability for your families, happiness, whatever. But roles change though sometimes, like
they do,
and so it's about being flexible with those changes. But like you can't. I don't fault her for wanted to pursue her stuff and deciding that
I don't either.
Now's the time, and I don't fault him for doing it because he's also a genuinely nice guy. But he also Randall is the type of guy who's like, you're a good guy, you're a good guy, you're a good guy. But so that's why people excuse you when you do impulsive shit or you gaslight people or whatever because your heart's in the right place. But even people like the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
You can't expect someone to change after they've been doing this for forever.
Yeah, and she admitted that.
I've been doing this for 15, 20 years, and now on the 20th year, you want to say this is wrong and you expect me to change tonight? That's not fair.
Well, sometimes people get sick of shit. She said that she was like, I've been letting you like sweet talk me out of shit all the time, but then on the flip, she was like, but you let me. Like, you never stop me either, because that's the thing. Like, sometimes we don't know. Sometimes you gotta save your partner from your own bullshit.
But sometimes we don't know. Sometimes, like, damn, they rocking with us. They willing to sacrifice, and sometimes we like, fuck it, let's go with it.
But in Randall and Beth's situation, Randall's always like, fuck it, let's go with it. I'm doing so. At some point along those lines, he needs to be like, actually, no. Like, I know you are willing to pause yourself or put a pin in what you're doing or bend for me, but I'm not going to let you bend. And I think that's the thing.
Got you.
The other shit I wildly identified with was that scene where she was like, even though she got busted and she was going to go to like a hotel for the weekend instead of, or she said she was going
lying.
Yeah, she lied.
And you're okay with lying?
I'm not okay with her lying, but I understand why she lied. Because sometimes you need a break, and sometimes you need a moment. And in that situation and setup, I absolutely 100% support why she went away. Because she also, it's like, she doesn't want to have to explain herself to Randall. Because if she told Randall, I'm going to go rent a hotel room for the weekend so I can sit by myself and so that, he would have been like, but why? And what's wrong? And da-da-da. Instead of him just like being like, babe, I get it. You need a break. Go ahead.
So why not just say, I need a break. This is my plan.
Because he was going to try and like guilt trip her, or he was going to be like, even if he wasn't going to guilt trip her, he was going to be like, but I don't understand why you want to be away from us, or I don't understand why it's too much. Why wouldn't you tell me I could do something differently? And it's just like, sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you don't want the person to fix it.
Don't lie to me then. That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't lie to you.
Because,
I wouldn't lie to you about that, but I would tell you I would needed a break, but I know you'd have like a lot of questions about why.
I mean, people, yeah, I think you should have questions, but I didn't agree with it. And then afterwards, she was like, oh, I want to watch it with you. Nah.
But he did that sweet talking bullshit again. Because he was like, oh, what episode of Living Single you going to start with? And she's like, oh, the one where Max and Kyle slept together, blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, now, because he kind of inserted himself in her little weekend single solo getaway, she felt guilty. And so she's like, now I don't want to watch it without you. I'll just come home. Da, da, da. And he didn't stop her. He didn't say, no, babe, continue doing what you're doing. He was like, okay, like, great, you can come home.
She should have felt guilty for lying.
She did feel guilty for lying.
That's what I'm saying. All right.
But he should have not. But even though she lied about where she was going, he should have not sweet talked or charmed his way into her feeling bad and bad enough to cancel her plans. And if she was trying to, he should have stopped her. Because if she needed a break so bad that she was gonna lie to go to a hotel for the weekend, then to me, that also what he also needs to see is he needs to get past the lying part and see that, like, you know what, my wife, my partner, and this goes both ways. It's not just about wives, but like, if you're in a relationship, my partner needs something that I'm not able to provide. And sometimes space, or sometimes a weekend away, or sometimes whatever, a spa day is what they need. And I'm not going to impede upon that. Okay. But yeah, I just think that that's the case. Like, but I think that Randall and Beth are a great example of what a healthy marriage and relationship is, because even the healthiest of relationships and marriages go through rough times, and sometimes rough times to the point where they don't know how to proceed. But it just goes to show that, like, relationship goals are not always what they seem. So that's all I have to say about that.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. What else is up, sir?
Nope, that's it.
We're done?
I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah, I need to unpack.
You need to unpack.
Yeah, I need a moment for myself.
By all means, take one.
Don't try to sweet talk me either.
I won't. Go on about your business.
Anyway, and on that note, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Lovers Quarrel.
As always, you know that if you want to hit us up, you can follow us on Instagram at Lovers Quarrel Show, on Twitter at Lovers Quarrel 7, or email us any more conspiracy theories or questions about who's getting canceled at loversquarrelshow@gmail.com. As TJ said at the top of the hour, or however long this episode was, if you're a first-time listener, thank you for rocking with us. If you are a regular listener, thank you again for rocking with us consistently over this last year and change. We really do appreciate you, and we appreciate the support. So again, hit us with any comments, concerns, questions, headaches, heartaches. Make sure you like, share, tag, and follow.
And make sure you rate us.
Yeah, and rate us. We've been doing.
If we suck, let us know.
Yeah.
If you only love Danny, because that's what everyone is team Danny.
Because
put that inside the comments. Put that inside the
people
the
love
section.
you too.
Nah.
They do.
I had someone tell me it's your birthday, so I'm Team TJ for this week.
So it was a pity. It was a pity.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. You know what I mean? So
I can't help that I'm lying. I be making sense.
No. Anyway.
But everybody can't be wrong, because you be always telling me I'm wrong.
A lot of times you are, but
whatever.
We truly appreciate y'all, and thank you for taking the time just to listen to us talk our shit.
Exactly.
And you get to hear my wife belittle me.
Belittle?
All the time.
How did I belittle you?
She hurts my feelings all the time.
I hurt your You called me the 12th man, nigga, so stop it.
Because you don't play basketball, so you are the 12th man. And it was really funny to me. I could just see you on the bench and you know what I mean?
In a warm-up suit.
In a warm-up suit.
And you're the star
Let's
player.
go, King!
And you're the star player. First of all, you on IR anyway right now.
See? There she go, belittling me again. And on that note.
With your little sleepy eye.
Oh. That's how we doing it.
You called me a 12 man.
Anyway.
Are there even 12 people on a team? We fight. But we love. Bye. Blink twice.
That shit actually hurt.
Sorry.
You're a terrible person. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.